Cancer, one of the scariest words in the English language. An ABC News reporter, Courtney Hutchinson, on June 28, 2010, said that 28.5 million kids have parents who are battling cancer. My object today is green ribbon. It's a lime green ribbon. This one actually lights up, so I got it at one of the walks. What that ribbon represents to me, for me personally, is the parent with cancer culture. And universally, it's known for the non-Hodgkin lymphoma cancer. I was introduced to this culture at the age of 13 when my mom was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin lymphoma. By learning more about non-Hodgkin lymphoma, you will have a greater understanding of what the patient and the family go through. The main points I will be discussing is first non-Hodgkin lymphoma, and you will learn about the universal symbol, the lime green ribbon, and how I identify with this culture. First, the lime green ribbon was introduced as a universal symbol for this cancer in the year 1999. It is recognized in the US, Canada, Australia, the UK, and other countries around the world. It is also representing Lyme disease, muscular dystrophy, and spinal cord injuries, and some other diseases. But what I'm going to focus on is non-Hodgkin lymphoma. Non-Hodgkin lymphoma is a blood cancer. Another blood cancers are leukemia and Hodgkin lymphoma. It is part of it affects the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is the lymph nodes, lymph vessels, and the lymph. The main purpose for the lymphatic system is to basically to clean the white blood cells, so it's in your blood. Despite it being very non-well known as opposed to breast cancer, it is actually the 6th most common cancer for men and the 5th most common cancer for women. There are 20,000 to 200,000 cases per year in the US. Some of the symptoms include swollen lymph nodes, weight loss, shortness of breath, and a lump in the abdomen. Swollen lymph nodes and a lump in the abdomen were the symptoms that my mom had. My mom was diagnosed February 2010. I was in the 8th grade year. I was in 8th grade. I was getting ready to go to high school. It came as a shock. I didn't realize that my strong, my mom was a very Mexican woman, very strong, very encouraging. I never seen her cry before this, and it was a really troubled time for me. I remember the exact moment when she told me that she had cancer. We were at the kitchen table. It was myself, my sister, my older sister, my dad, and my mom, and my little brother. He was only 6 years old, I think. So we didn't want to tell him right away. We didn't want to discuss it right away with him. I don't remember the whole conversation. I just remember my mom saying I have cancer, and I remember that I didn't cry, and I would like to say it was because I was really strong and I knew what the outcome was, but it was actually the exact opposite. I didn't know the outcome. I didn't know, and it kind of scared me that I didn't have answers to the questions I dared not to ask. And it wasn't until a couple weeks into her chemotherapy where she got a little sick, and she had to go to the hospital in the middle of the night, and that's when the reality hit, kind of. I was at school, and I had to tell the teacher why I was late and my brother was late, and I just remember the words coming out, "I'm late because," and then it was just a mess of tears, screaming, and just wanting to doing crazy things, and my friends helped me to the bathroom, and then but the principal talked to me saying, "Do you want to go back to class or do you want to go home?" And I said, "I want to go back to class because I love being with my friends," and they were really encouraging during this time. But I wanted to take a few minutes to do some research, and I finally did research, and I finally looked up, and kind of eased me a little bit, strangely, knowing all the possibilities. And what I found was that non-Hodgkin lymphoma was actually very curable. And I didn't really know that, and that, like, of all the effects and, like, what my mom was going through was very common, and that I could talk to other people. I went into websites and I did a whole bunch of things with that. Luckily and fortunately, her fight ended that year of June, and she is not cured, but because they don't like to use the word cured in cancer culture, they use the word remission. And she has been in remission for 5 years now, and that's pretty much the year when the doctors start to say, oh, she's doing really good. She's expecting to full recovery. And that's kind of where the culture began. The culture begins when the person's diagnosed with cancer, and it kind of keeps going from there. We start going to walks. We start getting like the ribbons and the walks. This was a walk at UCLA for the non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and you just start to really immerse yourself into the culture. So now that I've talked to you about non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and the universal symbol, you now have a more understanding of it. But when I first discussed the symbol, what the cancer was and how I identify it, and I will leave you with this thought. Parent with cancer culture doesn't discriminate. I didn't know it would affect me. I didn't realize it would. I didn't know that my mom would lose all of her pretty hair, but it did. And I didn't realize that it would affect me so much to see my mom cry, but it did. And so I just wanted to let you know that to appreciate your loved ones, because it could be your last chance.